the re-entry journey. What would be one word to describe this journey?
Enriching.
Unapologeticness.
Elevating.
Resilience.
I say transformation.
Intentional.
Blessing.
Rebirth.
The re-entry journey, the re-entry journey, the re-entry journey, the re-entry journey. All right, man, I'm back. You know what time it is, man. This is Monday night, another episode of the re-entry journey. And like you heard on the intro song, man, no matter what, we always got to remember out here, man, that we going to make it. So that's what time it is. Our guest tonight, speaker, mentor, did the time, done walk the walk, got these movements coming out. I'm gonna let him tell you all about it. I just want to introduce you to the floor. Welcome to the re-entry support group. Welcome to the family. Mr. Joseph P Langdon, how you doing, King?
Yo, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I'm free, alive, heart beating. Hey,
Hey, free and alive, always the best.
Yeah, no doubt. That's how we doing it. You feel me?
Oh, man, I appreciate you coming on and being a guest on the re-entry journey tonight, man, because I think your story and everything that you're doing is powerful, it's impactful, and it needs to be told on all platforms. So,
Yeah,
without further ado, man, go ahead and do your thing, comrade.
Yo, check it out. I'm Joseph P Langdon, straight from Brooklyn, Brownsville, stand up. All my New Yorkers, you already know, east side to the east side to the west side. We everywhere, brother. Yeah, but with that being said, my story is really a story of pain. It's a story of struggle, but most importantly, it's a story of redemption. Every day that my heart beat, every day that my eyes open, every day I take a breath, my dedication is to the people first and foremost. Because I took scars and pain and shit so I could bring it back to them so they can understand they ain't got to go through what you did. But I'm from Brownsville, and I have two brothers and three sisters. I have a beautiful mother. She was so righteous, even though we was in a negative environment. She was so passionate, and she was so conscious and aware of the fact that prison was my destination. So she did everything in her power to remove me from that cancer, but it didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work, because when I walked outside my hood, it was gangsters out there. You feel me? And them gangsters were serious. And I believed them more than I believed my own dad. What that tell you? So with that being said, I went through the juvenile system. 13 years old, I got locked up. So unfortunately, I was manipulated to sell crack at 12. So I've really been through it. Not knowing it was a manipulation though. See, the manipulation was this. I go to jail, I do no time. He go to jail, he do 5-10 years. So they learned early on to use the juveniles as the scapegoat so they could get away with it. But the system caught on to it though. You know what they start doing? They start bonding juveniles over, giving you 20, 30 years. So that's another story. So with that being said, I was institutionalized from a young age, believing that prison, jail, juvenile systems, whatever, was a part of the game. This is what I was taught.
So explain, because I'm glad you said that, because it might be somebody tuning in now and they don't really be understanding how that at a young age, coming from certain environments, like prison is, I'm somewhat like, man, this is why I'm gonna end up here because this is all part of this comes with what I'm doing, and it's almost like, is I know it's destined because it's already been designed as being part of experience that I'm gonna have to go through.
Yes, indeed. Well, to elaborate on that, that was some powerful stuff you just said, Kardell. And what I want to say about that is this: when you from low, poor income housing, when you're from a poor environment, And I don't just mean physically poor, but I mean mentally, emotionally poor as well, economically poor as well. What happens is people adopt the characteristics of a thief. And what a thief does, he comes in the night and he might just take your life or he might just take your jewels. Who knows? And that's what this concept has become. We became thieves. Get it by any means necessary. 50 Cent, get rich or die trying. Wu-Tang, Cream, cash rules everything around me. These are the messages that we are being inseminated into our mind's eye. And what happens is their manifestation is that them words that they speak, we become. You dig? And that's what happens in the hood. So when you come from a poor environment, you have a rich thought process, but you don't know how to get it through financial freedom, economic freedom. You don't understand the rules and laws of money. You live in New York, but you've never been to Wall Street. See, these are the things that we don't know about, right? But it's right in your face. So we just want the money and we don't care how we get it because the consequences are already consequences because our big homies are there waiting on us. And for those who don't know what big homies are, that's all the older guys from our neighborhoods that gives us the stripes, you know, the general stripes to say, hey, yeah, you made it. Now go back out there and do it again. You see what I'm saying? And it's just the cycle repeats. That's why 70% out of 100% come back to prison. Recidivism.
Exactly. So you going to juvenile. What was it? You said the juvenile was basically somewhat training you for. I mean, because I've been to juveniles, foster homes as well. So if you automatically basically you getting in a sense it's like a training. If it was compared to the military, what they say you'd be going to a boot camp. So getting you ready for the military, and a lot of people don't understand like juvenile detention centers and foster homes. They're preparing you for these certain structures that you would need and will go through once you go into the big prisons, once you go
For
into the
sure.
adult prisons.
For sure.
So what?
Now,
So you doing the juvenile time? What was what was that like? Was it a constant juvenile? Like with me, I would go to juvenile, I might get out, go back, and then until the charges got worse. Then it was like, all right, yeah, we gonna have to do some more stuff. So
yeah,
you
you
know what I'm
got
saying?
that.
Like, yeah, you ain't, yeah, you gonna foster home or you got to go, yeah. It ain't gonna be you going back home. Yeah, you going to juvenile, you going to foster home, and so end up being a foster home. But you know, what was your juvenile experience like?
Wow, man, I've been through it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Uh, every man and every woman who has been in prison, adult prison, they can say this. Every person he met in juvenile detention homes, group homes, force homes, they also met in prison. Am I right or
Straight
wrong?
up, straight up, straight up.
Everybody that a juvenile was in juvenile with, that they're now in prison with, is a fact. You know how many people I know that I was in juvenile with that I wound up in prison with? Like, wow, man, it's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
So my first experience with juveniles, juvenile hall, they put me in this place in Long Island called Little Flower. It was a slap on the wrist because they had females there with me. It was a co-ed group home. That's not
Oh
a
yeah.
place you put a young horny guy in that's
Nah.
thugged out and institutionalized already. So there was a slap on the wrist. I had fun. I ran away from there. And then I wound up in a foster home. After that, I wound up getting locked up for murder at 13 years old. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this really happened. And then I wound up getting out of that and went out of state as a juvenile, ran away, you know, while I was in the streets, and wound up getting locked up in Virginia as a juvenile for drugs and guns. And wound up getting a slap on the wrist on that. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew how to play the game, meaning that these guys in my neighborhood showed me how to get away with crime. Right? They didn't
Right.
show me how to get an MBA or an MBA or an LLC. They showed me how to get away with a felony. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying
Yeah.
there? You walking
Yeah.
with me?
It's a different.
They
Yeah. This
didn't
one.
show me
Yeah.
how to get the LLC or my MBA or my doctor's degree or my doctorate. They didn't show me none of that. They showed me how to get away with a crime though. And that shit ain't work, right? But at the end of the day, I wound up going to jail out there in Virginia, juvenile. So I went from New York juvenile, Philadelphia juvenile, all the way to Virginia juvenile, right? All the different states juvenile. So I was what they call a predicate felon, a
Mm-hmm.
thief, just keeping it real, right? So that just prepared me for jail because I wasn't afraid of that. Once I seen the juvenile was just like the streets, and what I mean by like that, it's the hustle in there, they smoke weed, all those different things. I ain't gotta
Yeah.
explain it, but you know what goes on in them juvenile halls. And for those who don't know what goes on in them juvenile halls, a lot. So I seen right there that I wasn't afraid of that. So I wasn't afraid of prison because I kept doing crime and crime after crime. So basically, my juvenile experience prepared me for my prison experience.
Mm. Right. Exactly.
So from the sandbox to the cell block, systematic
Yeah.
oppression, and that's how it's working. That's how they got it, and it's sad. But my juvenile experience, as I think back and reflect on it, I realized that I was desensitized. I didn't have no empathy. I couldn't feel nothing. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't feel what somebody else was going through. I couldn't understand what struggle was. I couldn't understand what asking your mother for commissary money after you just robbed somebody for their rent money. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I couldn't relate to I couldn't relate because in my neighborhood, in many neighborhoods across America, we are taught to get it how you live, and that shit is foul. It's foul. But at the end of the day, my juvenile experience was the preparation for my penitentiary experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was.
So how did how did you make the transition? I'm talking about from juvenile to prison. You know, not just on the inside, but on the outside. What was it? We already know what you was in as a juvenile, in and out, different juveniles, different states. You
Yeah.
know, and so where did the where did the crime come, or what was the transition into the prison? But did you transition
Well,
right from juvenile to prison, or did you get out and get into some more stuff, and it was like, "Yep, we got you
yeah.
now."
Yeah. I got slaps on the wrist, like I was saying. For those who don't know what that mean I was given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to refine my life, but I didn't take the opportunity. I kept messing up. Like I said, I didn't have any empathy. I didn't care. So what happened was I kept doing crimes, and unfortunately, I was arrested for attempted murder. And when I got locked up for this case, I got out on bond, and 3 weeks later, I went and robbed a bank because I was under the impression that I was going to go do life anyway. So I might as well rob this bank and go to Cuba. That was my plan, literally. I checked the extradition laws and I said, man, I got to get out of here. So in the process of me doing that, I ran back to Philadelphia where my mom was at because I caught this case in Virginia. So I was on a run, fugitive of justice. U.S. Marshals wound up catching me. I wound up going to jail. And while I was in jail, I'm from out of state in that place, so I had to be very aggressive. I had to be serious. I had to get a knife and I had to stab people or get stabbed. You know what I'm saying? And that's the seriousness of this. See, people think when you're on the street, you have a gun, you shoot them, blah, blah. No, there's no guns in jail. It's man to man. It's war. You can't hide. You can't run. You have to deal with the consequences or hide in a cell somewhere. So what Juvenile did, it already prepared me for war, right? It didn't prepare me for rehabilitation. Juvenile prepared me for war because if you ask anybody that has been incarcerated, juvenile prisons are far more horrific than adult prisons because juveniles don't have no understanding. See what I'm saying? So I was already prepared to kill or be killed. And that's just what it was, right? And I look you in your eyes and I tell you when I walked in that jail system, that prison system, because it's different than juvenile. Now you have 100 people in your area, grown men, 6'8", 350 pounds. What you're going to do? Are you going to fold, or you going to be that street dude you said you was in the beginning? Me, I said, hey man, I got to make it to my mother. And then, unfortunately, for those from Brownsville, they know a guy named Corrupt. One of our comrades from Brownsville, from Tilden Projects. He happened to just leave me because he was convicted of a crime as well in Virginia, and I just happened to see him. I was only in prison for 2 years, and he got murdered. I was just with him, and he got murdered a week later at another prison when he got transferred, and that scared me. Honestly, it showed me that these dudes would take your life. So I got serious and I got busy in there because I had to. You know, I had to survive in there. I was in there for 22 years. A
Right.
baby, a baby. You feel me? And I'm up on this for real because I want the people out there to look at their babies right now. They sons, they daughters that's 17, 18, 19 years old. And think about what I'm telling them. Because it's serious, man. They would take your children's life and throw it away. So,
No
you know,
problem.
that
With no problem.
seriousness with no problem, that seriousness in there. What it did was I had read a letter from one of my friends. He wrote me a letter from another prison. He was a lot younger than me. And the letter, I couldn't understand what it was saying because he was speaking about monetary gain. He was speaking about oppression. He was speaking about redemption. He was speaking about words I couldn't process at that time. So I went and got a dictionary, right? I was in the hole because I stabbed a guy and they gave me 5 years in segregation, you know? And while I was in that segregation unit for them 5 years, I started reading books and I started becoming a manifestation of these books. George Jackson, Soul Dad Brother, Huey P. Newton's Revolutionary Suicide, I sought the Shakur biography, Angela Davis autobiography, Elvis Cleaver solo. I had so many different books, and I start becoming that shit, man. Just keeping it real with you, right? I start realizing that damn, all the stealing I was doing from people, all the crime I was doing, all of this shit didn't amount to nothing. It didn't get me nothing. I ain't get nowhere, right?
Right.
I ain't get nowhere besides a prison sentence, right? And this is the thing about chosen people, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't help when you're chosen. While I was in that prison cell, I had an epiphany. And my epiphany, I was 15 years in on a 22-year sentence. And I had an epiphany, and that epiphany told me, change your life. I swear to you, brother, I'm not lying. Change your life. It told me to read the scripture of Joseph. I'm not a Christian, but I love God. So I read the scripture of Joseph and I seen my story and I realized that I had a purpose and I had to prepare myself while I was in the belly of the beast, while I was going through the pain, while everybody else smoking weed, drinking, and running around gambling. I was reading books. See what I'm saying?
Right.
I was doing those things too, though. But I was reading books. You
so
feel
so
me?
so from that point on, you had this epiphany. You started making this transition, started making this change. What was it that you first started with?
Well, as I said, I was in prison for 22 years. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't good in prison at all, right? Not even a little bit, right? Because my mentality is this: what they think is good, I don't think is good. They're trying to break me. They're trying to make me submit to self-decimation. They're trying to tell me that I'm worthless. When you get out, you're a convicted felon. You can't do nothing. That's what they taught me in prison. That's what the actual body of prison taught me. But the people inside the prison, I'm talking about the people that's doing life, the brothers that have been down 20 years, the brother that been in town 15, 20. Those are the brothers that told me, hey, Joseph, this is what you need. We can't get out, but you can. and we're gonna live vicariously through you, and we're gonna prepare you. And that's what they did. They gave me all the information. Because yeah, experience is the best teacher, no doubt, but equally information is. So if you got experience in information, then man, you're a trailblazer.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
you in
did,
there.
you did. So what happened was I still was like on cell phones, doing all the things that I do because I didn't want to submit to this system. I didn't want them to tell me what I can and what I can't do. So what happened was after 20 years of incarceration, I said, you know what? After 20 years now, I said, you know, I got all this information, all this knowledge, but I don't have a high school diploma. I don't have my Toastmasters professional CC competent communication license. I don't have a trade after 20 years now. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna put myself in school and get in these programs. And what I'm gonna do is prepare myself. So I started writing my books and stuff while I was in prison. I wrote 4 books. Started writing them in jail. Oh yeah. Because my brother said write a book, and I said, you know what? That's a good idea. So I started writing books. Then I went to school, got my high school diploma 6 months before I got out. Not my GED, my high school diploma. Got my brick mason license. Got my certificate in re-entry program. I got my certificate in the only one you trick is you. I got my certificate in the hype program. I got my certificate in the POI, psychology of incarceration. I've done so much stuff and I did it so fast that I realized, like, man, God was preparing me for the stage.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He was preparing me. Because if I could bounce back, anybody can.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody. You did? So that's why I do this. But at the end of the day, I want a lot of people to know they see me on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that every day. But what they don't realize is that I only been out for 1 year after doing 22 years. This is a very difficult situation for me, right? I don't get paid to get on Instagram and give my truth, right? And I do it because it's therapeutic for me. If I didn't do this, I'd be in prison. Now, real talk. If I didn't get out here because I signed a contract. You feel me? I signed a contract with the universe that I was gonna get out. If you let me out of prison, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna use every type of vocal variety that they have. I'm gonna speak eloquent. I'm gonna speak thug. I'm gonna speak whatever language I have to speak because I'm on a mission. And if I break that contract, right, bad is gonna happen to me. You feel me?
Right.
That's why I stick to it. And that contract is with God, bro. Like I'm telling you, this shit is deep. You feel me? Because a lot of brothers say a lot of stuff in jail, right? But they get out and do none of that. Or they might do it for a couple months, and then when they realize there's no benefit in it, or nobody believes in what they're saying, or nobody's rocking with them, putting likes and hearts, what happens is they give up. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how you can tell a passion between a person who's trying to get some action. You dig? This is
And, and
passion.
and and how hard is it not giving up, knowing getting out and everything that you're going through, like you said, that you know what I'm saying, you're not getting, because I've been there. You know what I'm saying, I'm part of that.
For
Getting out,
sure.
going hard. I'm not getting paid. I'm speaking. I got to type
Mm-hmm.
up books. I got to
Mm-hmm.
do shirts. I got to do all
Mm-hmm.
this to make the money that I can. Host speaking engagements, may not charge, but I can sell this merch here.
For sure.
Getting out, starting a business, like I'm not doing no faking.
Yeah.
And it might look like it's easy and it's going well, but it ain't easy and it's going like you think it
Nah,
is. So
nah.
how hard is it to stay focused on that and not go a different route?
Well, it's people like Black Lives Matter prison chapter, Jay Burton, free Jay Burton. It's comrades like Mr. Harvest Peterson, who's been locked up for 50 years, and he ain't commit no crime. He did. Free Harvest Peterson. His brothers like Gary Smalls, who's in prison for a crime I know for a fact he didn't commit, and everybody else knows. He's been in prison 23 years. Free Gary Smalls. Free all my political prisoners. Free all my wrongful convicted. Free all my comrades who in jail who changed their life and need a second chance. Those are the people out here who's gonna come out here and change the fucking world. You dig? And I'm a living, breathing example, as well as you. right? So that's what makes me get up every day, knowing that it's brothers that's so powerful in prison that they're able to get their voice outside these concrete walls, touch people, move people, and catapult people to higher levels of consciousness. Those are the ones. Now, don't get it twisted. Some do tricks and all that, but we ain't here to talk about that. We talk about the authentic, the ones who don't get paid for it, the ones who do it for their freedom, the ones who speak for others bigger than them. It's bigger than all of us, right? So those are the people I'm talking about. That's what make me get up every day. Brothers like Jay Burton, like I said, who's been locked up since he was 16 years old. He's 49. Actually, he'd be 49 on the 8th. So what that tell you? Since 16 years old, this man has been incarcerated, and now he's 49 on the 8th of this month. Black Lives Matter chapter, prison chapter founder. All right. You have brothers like Mr. Horace Peterson, like I was just speaking. Essentially, what I go through every day, facing going to jail every day. I face going to jail. I almost went to jail the other day. You know how many times I almost went? Like, I could go to jail for anything. Motherfucker could just say, hey, you threatened me. I want to jail. Right? So people don't know I'm faced with force with that every day. A female could say, hey, you did this, I'm going to jail. Like, people believe what they hear, but what they should believe is what they see. So those are the things that push me, Kardell. Knowing that these dudes is buried alive in there, man. And they've been in there for decades. Since I did 22 years, so I know what 2 decades feel like. Whoa.
Right.
Huh. And if you can still be conscious and alert after 2, 3 decades and still say, free me, free me, free me.
Straight up.
Right? Free me. I don't give 50 years. Free me.
For real.
You are my brother. You are Nat Turner. You are Huey P. Newton. You are Asota Shakur. You are Shay. You are all of these different people. You feel me? And that's how I feel about this shit. Real shit. I don't mean to be cursed, but it is what it is. Right? Because at the end of the day, until I die, I'ma scream this. Right? Because I mean it. You dig? So, like, yo, like, that's what moved me, bro. And then I get tired of seeing all these different programs. Hey, I'm gonna help the president, whatever, right? So I took it upon myself to say, hey, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna link with the Black Lives Matter prison chapter, even though I represent NCLB, no comrades left behind. And that's what it is, to the death of me, you heard? Because it was a brainchild. But I said, you know what? This shit is bigger than me. Look at Jay Burton. How can you hold a man from 16 to 30, 49 years old in a jail? I don't care what he did or what he didn't do. Man, he was a juvenile. And they say at the age of 25, the brain matures and grows into a whole different organism. So how is y'all still holding this man responsible for something that happened 33 years ago? Peace to Miss Melina Abdullah, Black Lives Matter LA chapter. We repping this. You have to protect her. See, this is the thing. When brothers come out of prison like us, see what happens is we are so authentic and we so advanced. I don't mean as far as what we have and stuff like that. I'm talking about in a sense of being critical thinkers. We see things differently than the people out here because we've been removed from it and we watch through a window and we said, damn, this is the person I'm going to become. We create, we draw. Right. We draw who the hell we want to be and we come out here, either we do it or we don't. But for the ones who do it, they're supposed to rally behind us, right? Because if you've never been to prison, you really don't understand. Even though you might have a loved one, a brother, sister, whatever, right? But it's still that connection you need because we could tell you what's going on in there with your sons. We could tell you what's going on there with your daughters. We could go in there and tell you what's going on. We could show you how to handle certain situations. So people who are representing re-entry programs who've never been through the fire need people like you, need people like me. And when we do come out here, because we're rare, right? They're supposed to hold on to us. Right? Hold on to us.
Straight up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that shit I'm talking. I'm talking that real shit. Hey, I want to also say this, brother. Financial literacy inside our hoods, right? And when I say hoods, for those who don't know what that means, because you could be black, you could be brown, and you could be white and be from the hood, right? You feel what I'm saying? So when we speak about hood, we talk about financial literacy, right? And what happens is if you go through Kenny
You breaking up. You
Starting
breaking up a little
preschool,
bit,
first
King.
grade, all the way to junior high school. They don't teach you nothing about money. They don't teach you nothing about money in them hood schools and them project schools and them poor, downtrodden areas. All they teach you is how to be a consumer.
Mm.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
Hello? You can hear me, bro? Hello?
yeah,
Hold on, bro. You hear me? Yes.
yeah, I
So,
can hear you.
so with that being said, right, I'm about to charge my phone up. Give me 1 second.
All right.
So, with that being said, right, what I want to do and what my brothers believe in, like I say, my brother and uh, Horace Peterson, which is his grandson is Eric Woodyard for ESPN. And these brothers
Yeah, you
been
breaking in and out again.
the envelope for their family members, man, because with prison reform or not against prison reform or whatever, but when you see people been in prison since they was kids, stuff like that, and they still in prison doing righteous things and helping the community from behind the wall, that means they are good people, man. They are messengers, man. And those people need opportunities to come out. I'm breaking out in now. Can you hear me now, bro?
Yeah. So yeah, Mr. Langdon gonna come back. We still on in the reentry journey. He's gonna come back and we're gonna be wrapping it up. So if you're tuning in and you got any questions, feel free to ask any questions as well. We getting to the point where we're talking about there's people in there that's doing time, man, since they was 16, since they were juveniles. Here they are, almost 50, and they still incarcerated, free or not. Is that too long? Should they get the opportunity to get back out here and prove themselves as an adult instead of a juvenile? I think that's really a lot of things that we need to look into when it comes to them situations and them scenarios. Because who I was at 16 is who I'm not today. So we finna let him back in right now.
Close the door, please. Thank you. Yeah, bro, with your little technical issues. Y'all know how that goes.
That's okay. Yeah, you know how that goes. That's just how it happens. I was just talking about while you was away about is that something that we really need to be looking into because who I was at 16 is definitely not who I am at 49 or 50 years old, and this needs to be looked into. You know,
Sure.
so and it's not just one, it's not just two. We talking about hundreds. We got soldiers, we got people behind these walls that are a great and will be a humongous assets to our communities with the program, with the knowledge that they're going to come with everything that they've been through inside the system
For
over the
sure.
past 30 something years, looking from
Crazy.
the outside, looking from the inside out a window, seeing how this operates, understanding. A lot of people don't realize, man, spending a lot of time to where in prison, outside of the bullshit that you're gonna be going through, watching people get stabbed, protecting yourself. When I walked into prison, man, it was a sign that said "Leave your dreams and hopes behind," and that's what it meant.
For sure.
That's what it meant. What no, when I get out, I'm gonna do. Oh, you don't even know if you're gonna make it up out of here. So ain't no when I get out, what I'm gonna do. Your job is to make it through this day.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you some real shit, right? I was in prison wilding so hard, right? Gang banging so hard. These is facts, though. What I'm speaking, it's all you just look it up, that they took me from Virginia and moved me to Ohio and labeled me an STG. And the reason why is because I was educating people in prison. You see, what people gotta realize is this: nobody comes out of prison and just come out here and start speaking all of something. That don't work. You had to be doing this in prison for you to come out here and do it out here, right? So what I am out here, I was that under pressure in there. I was teaching people how to read. That's the type of, prisoner I was. I was teaching people like, yo, we gang banging, but guess what? Let's learn how to think. Let's read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's read Asante Shakur. Let's read Angela Davis. Let's read George Jackson. So that. Let's read it. Because I knew that, man, even though we gang banging and running the streets and all that and living in prison, this ain't what we gonna want when we 40, when we 50. So we had to prepare ourselves. I knew that. I knew enough because I told you I had an epiphany. So I knew, damn, I gotta prepare even though I was 19, a child, I ain't know nothing. I just knew I had to learn. I started my own business. I said, hey, I could do it. So I learned how to do an LLC, came out here and did it. I said, hey, I could write a book. I could publish it on my own. That's what I did. From the sandbox to the cell block is on Amazon right now. The story and struggle, oppression, and redemption. I really did this. A person who knew nothing. So how am I not a messenger? How did I learn these things? How did I learn to be a fighter after I was just a submitter? Because I pleaded guilty. I didn't even fight my crimes. I was tricked, bamboozled to doing 22 years. My crimes ain't allowed it to know 22 years. But guess what? I was tricked. So I said, I used to go by gang name, Jungle Blood, Sonny Red, all these different names, right? Then I said, you know what? F that. I'm Joseph P. Langdon. I ain't no state number. Call me by my name, B. You feel me? And that's the attitude I came out here with. So I linked with brothers like Jay Birkin, Gary Smalls, which is really my comrade, Horace Peterson, brothers like you, OG Tech, all my sisters, Marvin King, Lotus on Fire. You see what I'm saying? All of these different people, you know what I'm saying? Even Miss Terrell Freeman, even Miss Gay Lisa, right? All of these different people in one way or another contributed in one way. But what I didn't and I don't respect is when people call my phone, hit my, hey, Joseph, yo, we got you. Yo, I eliminate people because I don't want to be distracted by your crap. Right? I'm just keeping it real. My shoulders is big enough to hold the earth alone. Right? Because I'm going to die alone anyway doing this. But I'd rather do it with my brothers and sisters. But once I see that you ain't official, or I just feel like you whatever the case may be, I keep it moving and I go where I know people are really fighting for their lives. Jay Burton is fighting for his life. If he don't get out of jail, he's gonna die in jail. Horace Peterson, he fighting for his life. If he don't get out of jail, like their situations is different than the people out here. They gonna die in prison if we don't push and get these brothers out. You want to see these brothers die in prison? 16-year-old and just whole life just dead in prison, did greatness in prison. Like, yo, nah, that's why I'm out here doing the dirty work. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Shoot me. Put me in jail, whatever you gonna do. Because I'm gonna do it in there, I'm gonna do it wherever I go. Even when I'm in heaven, I'm gonna march with Huey P and them. It is what it is. And if I didn't do this, bro, I swear to God, look, on everything, bro, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, from the depths, with every fiber of my being. All the foul shit I did when I was younger, to my family, to the people on the street, I hold myself accountable and G'd up for my feet up. I'm responsible. For those who don't know what that slang means, that means I hold myself accountable. And what that did, it allowed me to say, you know what? I don't want to go out a dude who robbed a bank, a dude who stole from people, a dude who robbed people, shot people, all these different dumb shit. I said, I'm going to go out a king. And that's why I came out here today, from the day I walked out here, because I don't know when I'm going to go. But when I go, y'all going to be able to see me again. Because I'm going to say the same old song on Instagram, TikTok, wherever the hell you at, YouTube, wherever. I'm going to say the same old song when I'm gone. And my song ain't going to be, oh, I was a prisoner. Oh, sorry me. Oh, help me. No, it ain't going to be that. And that's why I do this, bro. I swear to God, I'm not, yo, and don't nobody up here, if y'all watching this and y'all don't know how I get down, y'all don't know me, I see because y'all see little snippets. I'm telling you, I'm dead ass serious about this, man. Dead ass about this, man. I'm not fucking playing with this. There's dudes in there right now who lose their moms in there, B. Who they moms going out, their grandmas, their brother, and a lot of them niggas is I hate to use that word too, but I gotta keep it all the way live. A lot of them is innocent or sentenced under draconian laws. And for those who don't know what a draconian law is, that's a slave law. You did? I mean this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anybody out there, man, I really need y'all to tap in. And I need you to tap in with the utmost and sincerest ambition, motivation, and intent. Because dudes is fighting for their life.
And what would be a good place for them to tap in at? Say somebody out there want to get involved. Where do they tap in? How do they go about getting involved?
They can tap in to Joseph P. Langdon 20 at iCloud.com. They can tap in to Black Lives Matter Prison Chapter. They can tap into the NCLB, which is on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, wherever else. They can tap into Joseph P. Langdon. I'm a LLC. You could look me up. Google me. You'll be surprised what you see. Google me. Google Joseph P. Langdon right now. And you're going to see what you see. I ain't faking. See, Google don't lie, right? Get it, Google me, y'all. Google Joseph P. Langdon. What you're going to see is an entrepreneur, a book author, a professional speaker. I am really that. But guess what? Without y'all, right, I ain't nothing.
That's right. So if somebody was getting out tomorrow and they just happened to stumble across this interview, what would one thing you would leave them? One thing. What advice would you give them to they just getting out? They first day out. What advice would you give them? They run across this video.
They don't know what I've been through in this 1 year, man. That's why I had to take a moment, man, because the cameras don't show everything, right?
Right, man. They don't show a lot of it.
I had to take a deep breath because I had been overwhelmed, right? But I would say to the next comrade, man, woman, or child being released from the second phase of the pearly gates, right? Because there's two phases, the big pearly gates and then the little, So those who are coming out of these prison systems, right? What I would tell you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, don't let the situation change you. You have to change the situation. Don't let your situation change you. You have to be the one that dictate if it's going to rain or if it's going to be sunshine in your life. You have to be the author of your destiny. You have to tell your story, even if it's ugly, even if it's dirty, even if somebody gonna look at you and say, you did that? Yeah, I did that. But you ain't gotta do it. Huh? So for those who come home, just tell your story, man, how you want to tell it. Just keep it funky, man. Keep it real. So
tell your story. That's crazy. Because when I walked out of prison, I knew that one thing I knew I was going to do was tell my, if I ain't know nothing else, I knew I was going to tell my story. From that point on, however I was going to do it. In the book, engagement, I'm going to put it together. So the last question I ask everybody that comes on the podcast, the same question. You might have seen it when I played the intro video.
For sure.
But it's to me, it's the ultimate. Just I mean, I've heard a lot of answers on this because it's different answers. Everybody's journey is different. That's why this is called a reentry journey.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
If you had one word to describe your journey, just one word to describe your journey, what would it be and why would it be that word?
Damn! 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 And I'm gonna tell you why. As weird as this might sound, as I was becoming this beautiful butterfly in my cocoon, you know, I thought when I came out with this book, me changing my life, me representing the youth, me representing the neo-black, me representing Kemet, me representing the Holy Land, me representing the gritty, dirty, grimy dudes coming out and making shit shake. I thought the world was gonna grab me and hold me up this high.
Yeah.
Like, who did that? That's what I thought when I was in that cage. So I would say, damn, that wasn't the truth. They kicked me down as if I'm out here promoting gangbanging and drugs. As if I'm not promoting mass incarceration need to be an end. Black man, stop shooting your brother. Black woman, stop shooting your father. Hey, stop fucking for some dollars. Excuse my language, but I have to keep it real. You are bigger than that. And for those who don't understand what I'm saying, damn.
So before we go, let the people know how they can get in contact with you. You already told them to Google you. You gave your email. What's any websites,
Yeah.
social media accounts?
They can hit me up on josephplangdon.com. They can hit me up on Joseph P. Langdon on Instagram. They can hit me up on NCLB, which is on Instagram as well as Facebook. They can hit me up on my email, which is josephplangdon20 at icloud.com. These are the things. We have a lot of stuff going down right now. We have, like I said, my comrade Jay Burton. He got, a lot of media things going on. We be pushing his movement. We need y'all to sign that petition and speak out against that. But with the Black Lives Matter prison chapter, what we're doing with that, as well as the NCLB, we're utilizing the Black Lives prison chapter as one umbrella because it's all our lives really do matter. But the B don't just stand for black; it stands for brown as well. So with that being said, we're tapping in. We're coming up with curriculums with my sister Lotus, with my sisters, because we can't forget about the queens now, because there's a lot of queens that be on Facebook, Instagram representing for comrades, and we can't do it without them. So we tapping into all that, and we trying to get our brothers free. We ain't just talking about it. We actually living proof.
That's right. So once again, man, we here at the Reentry Journey, man. We appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, sharing your knowledge, most definitely your passion
Sure.
and an example, sharing your examples of how to get out of prison, get right to it. Not only get to it for yourself, but make sure you get into it for those that are still in that need to be up out of there.
Sure.
So we definitely appreciate their work. Once again,
Sure.
thank you for coming on. Any final words for those tuning in?
Once again, this struggle has two G's, which means it's not just about one person. It's about collective, right? So when you make it about yourself, what happens is we on to you. We're on to you. But when you make it about humanity, cruel and unusual punishment, guess what happens? We all work together. So I just want to say, I'm here to work with anybody who's official to the bone gristle. And for those who don't know what that means that they talk what they walk. Free Jay Burton, free Gary Smalls, free Horace Peterson, free all my comrades, free little Kamari out there in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? Free all my brothers, hopefully get out on parole. All my brothers and sisters out there, I'm going to send a link out there, write the parole office so he can get out of prison, y'all. Save our youth. That's all, brother. Thank you.
And there you have it, another episode of the Reentry Journey with our guest tonight, Mr. Joseph P. Langdon. Make sure y'all go check out everything that he's doing, get involved with the movement because that's what time it is. And this calls it. This is another episode of the Reentry Journey. I see y'all on the next go round. I am your host, Kardell Sims. Hey, remember, reentry starts on the inside. And I mean inside of prison and with self. And I see you from this point out. We signing off.
Peace.
Peace.